Well, yeah, good morning. It's about 6:30 in the morning, and I decided I'd clean out my spice cabinet. Now, that's the biggest job, because I've got two big cabinets that are spices, and then I thought, well, I'll do the rest of that later today. What do I want to do now? And I thought, well, I don't feel like going back to bed. Mama's still asleep, so I think I'll fix some breakfast. So that's what we're going to do. I've got my coffee going, and I take the Walmart. I make biscuits from scratch all the time, but I thought, no, I'm going to use those Great Value Walmart biscuits that you buy in the freezer section. And so that's what I did today, because I decided, well, if I only wanted to make 5, because there's no sense in wasting food. So I've already got them in the oven, and they come out, but I'm going to butter the tops of the biscuits. Now what I do is I set these out. It says on the package to put them in your pan frozen, but I don't. I let them thaw out all a little bit, maybe 10 minutes. Then I put them in my oven 375 on convection, so it only takes about 10 minutes. So I'll give us some butter, and let me get my trusty knife there. Get a case knife. If I can get a hold of it this morning. Hope y'all are doing okay. So I just butter the tops of my biscuits. And you can do it before you take them out, or I just do it. I do it after I get them out. That's still hot, so let's just. Now that's some good biscuits that I didn't make. Yeah, I didn't make them. But if you want some good biscuits, see, they just come apart. Get that butter on them. Get that good butter on them. And if you want to, pop one open and put some butter on it. You can butter several. We might just have those with I'll tell you what I did have is remember when I made get that out. When I made the jams and jellies, then that's what I went ahead and let me get these done and I'll talk to you. Okay, there. Now we've got some good looking biscuits. I let those set so they don't stay hard, so they don't get too hard, So I've got remember when Mom and I went down to the apricot patch and I made that apricot jelly? Well, I put it in these little bowls, froze them, and then I put them in my pot holder. So I put them in my little bowl there. And I saw that I had one, maybe 2 more. Not many. So I'll just throw that away. Throw that away there. And I'll get one of these bowls. And what I do is I just take this and I just go down the side of it. And this is some good apricot jam. homemade, home picked, home done. Not a bunch of those old chemicals in there. Let's not waste none because it's took a lot of work to get that done. See, now there's you some apricot jam. Let me rinse my hands. So if y'all were here, y'all could have some apricot jam on a biscuit. Nothing like a biscuit and apricot jam. See there. See how good that. Now what I'll do is I'll get one of those little Temu pop things, these, and when I get ready to put that in I'll just put it like that and put it into the icebox because it won't last long with me around, I'll tell you, because even after I've got that cancer and lost weight, I love to eat. I still love to eat. That's good. So you just let that kind of get up to room temperature. So I thought, well, since I'm doing some, let me get some biscuits. I think I'll just go ahead and let me set these biscuits out of the way just a minute. Let me set them on the oven there. Okay, so I'm going to get one of my Carotte pans. I could get a smaller pan if I wanted to. So I'm going to put in that 1.5 cups of that hot water out of my dispenser. Well, there's one. And then we get a half. Maybe a tad over a half. Now we've got our hot water there. And I'm going to bring that on up there a little bit, get it to boil. Then to that, I'm going to add some onion powder, not a whole bunch. I just like a little extra onion powder, and I have that left over, and I'm going to open a new bottle right now. Then I'm going to take my oregano. I love oregano in my gravy. Just dried oregano. Get your pepper. Even though this has got pepper, let me open this new box of pepper. I still put pepper in it. Of course, we don't use a lot of salt around here. So I just put enough in my hand to give it a flavor. Okay. So now I've got that steeping kind of. Now, let's get one of our bowls, and we'll get some milk. Let's see. I'm going to put about a half a cup of milk in my bowl. And then I'm going to put a half cup of water. So there's a half cup of milk and a half cup of water. And now to this, I'm going to put 3/4 cup. Let me give me a whisk. I'm going to put 3/4 cup of the gravy mix into my bowl. before I add it to my liquid there. You got to get flour all over the place or you can't be Billie Jean. So now I'm just going to whisk this in with that milk and water. Now you want that mixed good so it doesn't. You don't want lumpy gravy. Nobody likes lumpy gravy. So see how I've got that? I've got it mixed real good with that cold milk and room temperature water. Get our pan back on our fire. We'll add this once that gets up to boiling again, or hot. Let's turn it up a little bit. I just sit here and whisk that till my pan gets a little hotter. Now see how that's boiling down in there? Let's put it in there. Okay. Now we just start stirring that, letting that cook that off there. Now it'll finally, once that gets, see it's thickening up already because it's got cornstarch in that. That'll thicken on up there. See how that's thickening up? There, see it's going, it'll go thick quick, so you have to take it off that stove. If you don't, you'll have some thick gravy that you can't cut with a knife. See how that's some good gravy there. Let me get one of my ball scrap bowls and make sure let's turn that back on just a hair because you want it thicker than that, a little bit thicker, not much. Now that's starting to thicken up. Turn your burner back off. Turn your burner back off and make sure. I bet we need a little more salt because I added a little more. So see how that's fluffing up there? Okay. It's hard to see. Let's see if I turn this off, y'all can probably see better. See how that? I have it with my work light. Now, see, I take a strainer just to be safe, because I don't like lumps in nothing. So we just put that down there. Strainer. Get that out of our pan. See, that don't look like it's got lumps in that. Let's see if this does. And then it'll strain some of that spice out too. But the flavor will still be there. See, there's not a lump one. So that's what we want. That's a good bowl of gravy. Get this water in the... I'm always getting my pans with water so I don't have to have such a big mess. Now I've got the coffee going, so if y'all were wanting a cup of coffee, get my spoons and stuff cleaned up. Kind of get the kitchen cleaned up some. I got the coffee maker. I turned it on. So that's what you hear while I'm visiting with you. Just trying to get this kitchen straightened up. So now that's what we're going to have is we've got gravy and apricot jam, and we've got our biscuits. If we want a fried egg, we could have fried egg. I'd fry you an egg. Is here. I don't usually make bacon anymore since heavy. I don't usually make bacon anymore since the salt. I can't have salt due to the cirrhosis and the cancer. But I thought I would come on and y'all can get you. Buy that in that big restaurant bag at Walmart. You find it over there in the restaurant section. It's in that red, white, and blue package. That's your gravy mix. Put it half in your freezer bag and then put some in your container so you can keep it here by the stove. And that's the way I do it. And then on my biscuits, it's the Great Value frozen biscuits. And what I do, I'll just show you both of them. Here is the gravy mix that I keep in the freezer. And here's the frozen biscuits that I keep. If I don't feel like making biscuits, then I've got my old standby, and that's just as good. They come out really beautiful. See how pretty them biscuits are? So now what we'll do is get us a plate. I'll get us one of our plates. Mother's still asleep, but most times she is. So I'm just going to open base my biscuits right there onto that plate. I can move that pan over. I'm going to have to buy me another ladle. I had that red one and I just didn't like the way it looks, so I kind of miss it. See how good that gravy's? Just spoon that over that. Spoon that right over that biscuit. Oh, well, you know I would get make a mess. You know I'd make a mess, y'all. That's okay. I'll just take my paper towel and I'll just wipe it off. That's all you can do. I'd say, y'all wipe that stuff off your plate now. Let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Let's see how this biscuits and gravies. See there? That's it. Boy, that's good. Mm-hmm. My gosh, that's good, y'all. I couldn't have made it better myself, but I'd have made it homemade. So then what I'll do is show you another thing I like to do. Let me get one of my rolled Dalton white saucers that I use a lot of times for photography. I'll take one of these. And I don't know if y'all ever ate Briar Rabbit molasses. There's nothing better than a butter biscuit with molasses on it. Now that's an acquired taste. If you've never had molasses, You're going to use this in your gingerbread when you're making gingerbread, but my daddy would always take that molasses and put it on a biscuit. Or we could have some apricot jelly. So that's just what we're having this morning. We're having biscuits galore, all kind of good stuff. And now I've still got another 2 biscuits, and I'll get a big old glass of milk and a cup of coffee, and that's what we're going to have this morning. Is we're going to have biscuits and gravy, biscuits and molasses, and biscuits and apricot jam. So we'll talk to you soon. God bless you, God bless us, and God bless the United States. I hope y'all have a great week. Bye-bye.